record this. All right, I'm recording this for other students who might have the same problem because I want to make sure that everybody has this. So once you download all the information and do everything you need here in Schoology, and then you have your build instructions open here, then you're going to go to Construct 3, log in, and now up here, if you guys see up here, the first part is make sure this does not say free edition. So you actually need to log in with your account that you made. Okay, so now as you can see, it actually has my name and it does not say free edition anymore. I am the teacher, so you'll have to log in and then it'll still say free edition and you'll have to enter in the class code. And I believe I gave you the class code right here. Okay, Nevaeh, did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're all on the same page. So now once that's done, you're gonna hit File, Downloads. You'll open up your cat and mouse game that you downloaded from Schoology. However, okay, so that's fine. Okay, so here we are with the window and everything that's going on here. So if I go through the build, now it might be slightly different. I am not going to do the developer journal part. So if you look over here on actually today, so if I come over here to the 20th and go to game programming, here's the cat and mouse worksheet. So that's what this is talking about here, the cat and mouse developer journal. I'm not going to go through that part. I'm just going to worry about the actual coding part. So once you have all the code done.
In this build lesson, you'll use what.
I'm not going to listen to you. So she gives a little intro, but we're going to skip across to this, right? So this is telling you to download the file, which you've already done through Schoology. I gave it to you. Complete the level. Then you have two. Okay. Like I said, you open the file once it's downloaded onto your computer. So we're kind of skipping through all this stuff. Project has already been started. As you can see, we have it up. So in Construct, event sheets are where all the instructions for the game are stored. Okay, so you have basically the event sheet here, start events. I'm gonna move my little zoom over here. So real quick, no, not the start page, get rid of that. So you have your start page. This is what people will see when they click on the play button, and then it'll go to start events and things have already been started for you. That's what this is saying here. So if you watch this video, it'll explain to you, what this is all about, but I'm doing that now, so you're already watching the video. So now let's explore the game over events sheet. This contains instructions to prompt the player to restart the game. So the first question I have, Nevaeh, is when you say you don't have everything there, is that because all you see is start and start events?
I actually only have the one that says start. And then that thing of like the bars on the left side of the screen, I don't have that there either.
So
like,
the one that you don't have properties?
Yeah, I don't have that. I only have the start tab at the top too. I don't have anything else.
Okay, so that's easily fixable. So the first thing you want to do is go to menu, and then you have your view bars. So there's my properties bar, my project bar, my layers bar, my tile map. So this is the properties bar. Then you have the project bar, which is over here, it's project on the right. Then you have the layers bar, which is down here on the bottom right. And then you have the tile map bar, which I do believe, I'm looking for the tile map is over here. So you'll flip back and forth between layers and tile map. But I keep it on layers. I will be honest, the layers is not as important for this project as it is for other projects. Properties, yes, you will need, and then the project bar. So now, if you only have the start tab, that's because you don't have these clicked on over here. So if you look over here, it says game events, game over events, start events, then you have game, game over, and start. So this is a layout called start. This is an event sheet called start events. They are talking about game over events. So if I double click on that, see now game over events popped up. You see how that happened, Nevaeh?
Yeah, but I don't have that on the right side either.
Okay, so
I don't know how to get to there.
let's do one step at a time. Do you have everything open like I have it here?
Yeah.
Okay, so click on menu, then go to view bars, and click on make sure that properties bar is clicked so you see a check.
I think I opened it.
Okay, so now you see on the left-hand
Yeah.
side properties and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So now the next bar you want to make sure you have is your project bar. That's this one on the right. So click view, bars, and then click on project so it has a little check.
Oh, okay. I got
Okay,
it.
right? So now you want to click on game over events, and then that tab, game over events, will pop up.
Clicking it, but it's not popping up.
Okay, double click.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Okay. I don't need to say. So now in the build, this is what they're talking about. So this is the game over events sheet, and it contains the instructions to prompt the player to restart the game. So if I just read this, because I'm not going to watch the video and do all that, I'm just going to read it. This sheet contains, okay, so it's just telling you what it is. So we're going to, exploring the game level 2 is just telling you what it is. So we're going to keep going through this, because I'm assuming level 3 is when you actually start doing stuff. Okay, so yes, we're going to start focusing on adding movement to the mouse sprite in our game. Okay, so to do this, we're using a simple sequence. Okay, keep going. So the mouse sprite will be moving on the blue grid. So let's just go back to this really quickly and go to the start. It's not here, you can't see it. So we want to see the game itself. So we're going to double click on the layout, right? So now you have a little mouse here, and he's going to be moving. The objective in this game is you're the mouse trying to get to the cheese, and then you have these cat paws that are trying to stop you. So the cat paws will be coming in and out while the mouse is trying to move. So that's basically what's happening. So if I go to game events, right, you have, this is your movement, your mouse movement. So this is, actually, if I scroll up, no, the mouse movement is missing because they want you to add that. So here's mouse movement, here's scoring, and then here's the game over. So if any of these things hit you, it takes you to game over. But we want to focus on the mouse movement. So that's what this is going to tell you is, okay, looking at the thing, okay, it's a 75 by 75 grid, and then you're going to make the mouse move in increments of 75 because that's what each one of these little blue dots, they're 75 pixels. Okay, so if I go back to this, the game, this is 75 pixels. Okay, that's how big each square is. So you're going to set the mouse to move in increments of 75 is what it's saying. So the next one, we'll be adding events under the mouse movement group. So this is the empty one that I was telling you about. To add the first sub-event of the mouse movement group, double-click on the second area. So clicking in Construct can be a little kooky. So I'm going to show you how this works. So right here, this group contains events that allow the mouse sprite to move on the grid area. So they want you to hit the second. This would be the first. See how when I click it, everything lights up? We don't want everything to light up. So 1 gets both of them. That's not what we want. We just want the second one by itself. Okay, that's what this is saying here. Click on the second area shown. This is the second area. Okay. This will open the condition menu where you will select keyboard, as we want to use this to control the movement in our game. So going back to this, they actually mean double click. Everything is pretty much double click. So 1 click lights it up for you. Double click actually selects it for you. And then here's keyboard like they were saying. So we're gonna hit next. Okay. So following the instructions, then it'll say on key pressed, then, okay, so you want it when the key is pressed, because that's obviously when you're moving it. So on key, there it is. On key pressed, which was highlighted, so there you go. On key pressed, there you go. Which key? So now you actually get to decide how you want your game to work. They're gonna tell you, does it say? W, was a right arrow. Okay, so yeah, it does actually say right arrow. You can decide, because I know there's some, guys who like WASD or, up, down, left, right, but I'll just go with what they got, right? So I'll click it, and now you push the key that you want it to be, so it's gonna be right arrow. So I actually press the right arrow on my computer, and then it pops up. It says, note that the state of the num lock may change, blah, blah, blah. It won't affect this because that's not part of the number lock button. So you say, okay, so it's the right arrow, and then it's done. So now when you click the right arrow, okay, then what? So you've given it an event. When the arrow is pushed, what do you want to do? You want to add an action, okay? So if I go back to the instructions, because I'm actually jumping ahead because I've done this many times, add the action, right? So a window will open where you need to select what you want to do. So obviously we're going to move the player. So let's go back to this. The player is the mouse. It says player, and we hit next. Okay, and it's going to say set an angle. Okay, and I believe if we just hit the highlighted ones, that's exactly what's going to want us to do. Let me see. Nope, I was wrong. Prior, there's many action options in this game. We want to move when the arrow key is pressed. Okay, yeah, we said that. The action that will help us size and position section. Oh, move at an angle. Move at an angle. That's the one, not set angle. So move at an angle, which is this one. Move at an angle. Okay, next. The angle is going to be, yes, 0 because it's right. So this is Nevaeh, what grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade. Okay, so you know about 360?
Yes.
Okay, so this is based on a circle, 360 degrees. The only difference is that they don't say 360, so it's 270, and then what would be 360 goes back to 0. So that's how they're basing it. Like if this was a joystick on a controller, so up would be 270, down would be 90 degrees, left is 180, and right is 0 degrees. So when it asks you what angle, it's 0, and the distance, I believe it has to be 75, yes. Okay, the distance has to be 75 because that, like I said, is how big the grid is on the blue squares that they're talking about. So you have to make sure it's always going to be 75. If you do 1, that mouse is not going to move very far and it'll be messed up. So that's it. Okay, on right pressed, player is going to move and 75 pixels and an angle of 0. Just for testing, we're going to test that. So our mouse will most likely die, but let's see what happens. I'll press play and we'll wait because it's preparing images. Pop-up blocked. So that's a good test. Make sure that you are going to allow pop-ups from Construct 3. So let's try that again. It messed up, so we're going to try it again. Press play. And it's not running it. That's a problem. Maybe it's not running it because I didn't complete all the events. Let me see. I want to preview the layout, which you may not be letting me do. That doesn't make sense because it should be preview project. No, that's still not letting me, which means what? Let's look at start events. Okay, because we're not starting from here. That's the problem. Okay, let's try from here. Nope, still not letting me do it. That is weird. Let's take a look. Start events on, play button, go to game. Okay, all of that's correct. Game. It was just game events. We have mouse movement. That's the only one. Scoring. Might have to do with the update that I didn't do in the beginning. Let me debug it real quick. Okay. It works here. That's important. All right. So I can't move anywhere else. I can only move right. But it does work on the debug screen. So you might have to run it from the debug screen. I don't see any errors. Yeah, nothing is showing me an error. So that's good that we did this video. If you cannot test it, so if it was giving you problems when you press play, then do the debug and it'll play it in the debug. And that's kind of how you want to test it. I don't want to do the whole lesson for everybody. So I really just wanted to do, the first mouse movement. And that, I mean, this is really all that you're going to do. If I go through the build very quickly, I think that's it. You know, keyboard, right arrow, up arrow, left arrow. This is just to give you a taste of, yeah, it's just going to repeat itself over and over again. And then I think they have you add like something to the scoreboard. But that's basically what you're going to do is you're going to add the mouse movement. I think there's like one other thing that the build asks you to do, but I don't want to do the whole lesson for everybody. I want you guys to kind of figure it out on your own. But the first one was important, so you know what you're looking for. Do you have any other questions, Nevaeh?
No.
No? Okay. Well, then that is it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.